Or down on my looking to hit me a lick. Ready to get into some since I was a jit. I had big dreams of getting rich. Now we leveling up in this. Take a look at my kicks. You know we stepping on toughest nigga. First one to get hit, don't make me send a blitz. My head is itching for it. Hollow to spit like a list, but wait. Whoa,
now what's the motherfucking deal? And welcome back to Sheldon's bootleg ass studio where we come to kick it, vibe out, and shoot this shit with Sheldon, man. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for pulling up. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead, get up into this video of today. All right, now Shannon Sharpe has done it again. This time he's brought in Monique to Club Shay Shay. They had a sit-down interview, and it was explosive, to say the least. And in this explosive interview, they have ruffled some feathers. Monique more so than Shannon. But anyway, Shannon is catching a few slights, if you will, in my opinion. Let's get into that. All right, now of these feathers that are ruffled, we have Stephen A. Smith. Now I want you to take a real close listen at Stephen A. Smith and his position on this interview. To me, it kind of sounds like he's a hater, to say the least, but we're gonna come back to that. I want you to listen in, form your own opinion. Before we do so, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it right now.
If you ain't fucking with my nigga Sheldon, nigga, fuck you. Yeah.
Let me say something. This is not a comfortable conversation for me. In the interest of full disclosure, Cat Williams has always been cool with me, always been a gentleman when I've met him. Steve Harvey is a friend and a brother. Kevin Hart is a friend and a brother. I don't know Cedric the Entertainer that well, but I've known him well enough where I've interviewed him several times over the years, and we are very friendly with one another. I once had the pleasure of being interviewed on Monique's show, where she had her own show, Monique, on BET, when I was a guest there many years ago, and I've been a long-time admirer of her work, her artistry. She is a brilliant talent, both comedically and just overall as an actress. She is spectacular. And what has happened to her, or what appears to have happened to her, what she believes has happened to her, in terms of being blackballed, in terms of being pigeonholed and marginalized, it's not comfortable to hear, it's not comfortable to watch. I don't like it at all. I root for her. But the first order of business that I'm gonna do before I get in to the specifics of everything that they've had to say is I'm gonna say this. It's become problematic. And somebody has to say it, so I'm gonna say it. It's become problematic for black people. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now, it's starting to look really, really bad. And some would say, Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean start? We've been making ourselves look bad for quite some time. Now, for those athletes out there, former athletes, you know, because the people that tried to look at me and would sit up there and would say, Stephen A., you know, selling out, seller, I can't stand his ass, blah, 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 blah. Bump them. They full of it. You were performing on a court or the field of play. I called you out for your performance, and that was that. That wasn't black on black crime. If you are a player and you're getting your ass kicked by somebody who's dropping 40 or 50 on you, and I call it out, and that person happens to be black, how am I knocking down my community because I point out the fact that you put your talents on public display, is getting your ass kicked? It's my obligation to point out that you're getting your ass kicked, and that's all that happened. That ain't selling out. That's covering sports. And you happen to be somebody who's chosen to participate in sports in a public forum who didn't live up to what people's expectations were. And we talking somebody, I mean, it could be Kwame Brown, it could be T.O., it could be somebody. I talked sports. I didn't get into anybody's personal life, characterizing and castigating anybody. That's not selling out. That's doing my job of covering sports. It's not Monique's job to do what she just did. It wasn't Cat Williams' job to do what he did on Club Shay Shay weeks ago, that now has over 68 million views, by the way. It wasn't their job to call out Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. It wasn't their job. That was a choice. A choice that extended far beyond the corridors of their job. That now has Black America taking sides and looking at one another with an elevated level of skepticism and disgust, while having others outside of our community look at us that way as well. And that's a subject that we're going to tackle on the Stephen A. Smith Show today. We're not running from this. we're going to talk about it. Whether it's Monique, it's Cat Williams, or even if it's my brother, Shannon Sharpe, for Club Shay Shay. I got a lot to say. A whole lot. It's about time that it gets addressed in a manner that it deserves.
All right, so you heard what he had to say, man. Now, he started off by trying to make it seem as if he was coming from a good place, having good graces about it, and trying to prop her up before, tearing her down with, I guess, some quote-unquote constructive criticism.
Monique, she's brilliant. She's an Oscar winner. She's sensational. What she did in Precious, her phenomenal acting career, her comedic genius. Monique, I don't know if anybody said this to you, but I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say it to you out of love. You always say sisters or brothers when you're talking to black people, but this is a brother talking to you, Monique. You look very bitter. You look like the light has been stripped from you.
But in my mind, it wasn't even constructive criticism. It was just a bunch of hoopla, a bunch of hate, because you seem to have a chip on your shoulder, and we're going to get to the chip on your shoulder in just a second. Let's touch on what he said about it being problematic to black people. He started getting loud then because he wanted to make his point, and when he gets loud, he's trying to make himself sound more right than what he actually is. But why is it problematic for black people? This should be the problem solver right here. The person that's calling BS, the one that's pulling your card, the one that's letting you know you need to stand up straight and walk a chalk line and have a clean nose. Why is this problematic for black people? I'll tell you why. He goes on to say it makes us uncomfortable.
And some would say it's taken an extreme turn where it's so tinged with negativity, it's made folks, particularly in the black community, uncomfortable.
Not me. It has not made me uncomfortable. The only ones it will make uncomfortable is the ones who are going along to get along, okay? And this is why we, as a black community, are in a place where we're at. We go along to get along instead of calling things out. And I believe that's what Monique is getting to. She's trying to call out the BS, all right? Then he goes on to say that it's not Monique's nor Cat Williams' job to call out Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and all of these people that they got a problem with. Now, Stephen A. Smith, whose job is it? If you are being wronged, why is it not your job to speak up or stand up for yourself? That is ridiculous. What are you saying? What are we talking about? So, let me then add another note, all right? He goes on to say that it's not their job, but he's a sports reporter, whatever his job title is. He covers sports. This ain't got nothing to do with no damn sports. This ain't your job, Stephen A. Smith. You contradicted yourself so many times in this here segment. You feel me? You threw the rock and tried to hide your hand so many times. You call Shannon Sharpe your brother, and then you go on to ridicule him in a way, on the sly, on the slick. Yeah, I caught them jabs. I seen how you was coming. You feel me? You got a little chip on your shoulder.
Now, would I have been a little bit different? Sure, because I'm a trained journalist. I'm a trained journalist. And as a result, the level of pushback that I would give, I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years. When Shannon Sharpe was on Club Shay Shay, or Nightcap rather, weeks ago, and he said to Chad Ochocinco during one of his telecasts, I'm not Ed Bradley, the late Ed Bradley, God rest his soul. I'm not 60 Minutes. I'm not 48 Hours. I'm an entertainer. My only retort to him was that you're not just an entertainer, you're a voice. And take that voice into consideration whenever you do whatever it is that you do, so you're never telling somebody that you're just an entertainer. Because you're more than that.
Listen up, listen how many years he say he been doing this.
I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years.
He's a journalist, he's a trained journalist.
Spanning 30 years.
As if, Shannon Sharpe doing what he doing, he just jumped in it. You feel me? He ain't got no credentials in there. You know what I'm saying? He just jumped in it. So What are you saying, Stephen A. Smith? You see what I'm saying? Like, you're being so condescending. I see right through you, bro. I see right through you. Yeah, man, you jealous. You are so jealous. You want some of them views so bad. You want a Club Shay Shay podcast so goddamn bad. Look at you, man. Look at you. Look like a fish out of water, man. You squirming. You don't know what to do. You got Shannon Sharpe. You looking at him every day now. He come to work. He doing what he doing. He's blowing up. Oh, man, you hating it. Look at you. He goes on to say that Shannon Sharpe has 65 million views, and he has a voice. He's much more than just a entertainer, and the tone of his voice and how he goes on to say it is really head scratching, man. You might want to watch him, Shannon Sharpe, because he comes off as a brother, as a friend, is what he's telling you. But he sounds like he got a chip on his shoulder as far as Club Shay Shay goes, because he ain't pulling those types of numbers. You see what I'm saying? I mean, what are you saying, Stephen A. Smith? What are we talking about? What are we actually saying? He said a whole lot of nothing in this here segment. He went on to basically let us know that in the black community, we can't call out bullshit. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to just go along to get along, and it makes us look bad when we're calling things out. But let me tell you something. There's problems in all communities. Black people has just become the face of every negative situation. All the time, they make us the face of everything. I'm not even gonna get into that. Let's stick to the subject at hand. You claim that you called Shannon Sharpe and that he was unable to make the segment because he had other engagements.
I'd also be remiss in neglecting to inform you that I personally asked Shannon Sharpe to come on this podcast and discuss it. To his credit, although he's not here, he was willing to come on. He just had other commitments because he knows I'm his brother and I'm not trying to backdoor him.
Seems as if you were so ready to put this out. Why couldn't you find the time to work it around his schedule? You see what I'm saying? But no, you wanted to piggyback off of his interview. You wanted to hurry up and capitalize off of it and make sure that you get some of those numbers as well, which is okay because we're all in it to try to get some money. We're all in it for the numbers. I'm not mad at that. But don't sit here and act like you have an agenda for black people and that you want us to do better just so you can get some views and get your money off of it. Nah, man, because you really don't have no type of interest in it like that. You see what I'm saying? You have no heart in it like that. You really out for self. You feel me? You say that you're not a sellout. Okay, I give you that you were covering sports, but there was a bunch of times where you did sound like a sellout. But that's another topic. You see what I'm saying? You are not covering sports in this segment. So how is it that you can say whose job is what, but you go on to do what isn't your job? I believe that it is their job. They are entertainers. You see what I'm saying? These people are entertainers. You know what I'm talking about? So they had an interview. Cat Williams had an interview. Monique had an interview. They sat down and had an interview. In an interview, you're speaking. You're talking about your experiences, your life story, whatever, you want to speak on, whatever you want to promote at the time. This is your chance to speak. That was her job. Shannon Sharpe didn't bring her on there to tell no damn jokes. Stephen A. Smith, what the hell is you saying? He brought her on there to talk about what she talked about. You sound like a hater, man. You sound like a hater. You know why? Because you is a hater. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing you call Shannon Sharpe to act like you going to play devil's advocate and say, hey, brother, I'm going to say some things that some people ain't going to like and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to make it sound real good because, I want some of them numbers too. That's what it all boils down to. You ain't fooling me. But anyway, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. This here is the cancer that's in our community. Not wanting to speak out against the BS and allowing people to continue the fuck shit that they doing. We are enabling it if we don't speak out against it. You see what I'm saying? And we have these coons that want to continue to go along to get along. They ain't doing nothing but holding us back. And what are we teaching these kids? It's just teaching kids, the cowards get rewarded by keeping their lip zipped. That's not stand up to me. You feel me? Anyway, I digress. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts below. If you vibed all the way out to the end, I really do appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'm SheldonVybez. I'm gonna need y'all to be cool like the other side of the pillow. Stay light on your toes like you're supposed. Oh yeah, no.
If you ain't fucking with my nigga Sheldon, nigga, fuck you. Yeah.
Oh God.
Because I'm a trained journalist. And as a result, the level of pushback that I would give